Hello everybody, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks very much for joining us. Well, fog was the theme across many parts of the country, especially in some of our largest regions like Auckland, Waikato and Canterbury. Thick fog across the morning as a result of the very light winds we've got. And by the way, this time of the year, perfect recipe for fog. You have a nice warm afternoon, big high pressure with light winds, and then you've got warm sea temperatures around the country at the moment, considering we've only just come out of summer. And then on top of that, that long dark night, and you end up with big foggy areas with the light winds. But you can see what's building out at sea. We've got a very large low, and I said yesterday it wasn't a storm. Well, now that's changed. The latest modeling is showing it will be a storm out at sea. So we're going to get the outer edges of it. It's complicated, so stick with me. Oh, by the way, before we talk about that storm, you remember the other storm down in the Southern Ocean the other day? Well, MetOcean in New Zealand recorded a wave of 23.8 meters and is the largest ever recorded wave in the Southern Hemisphere. They're pretty sure of that. So that's an amazing wave, 23.8 meters. Now keep in mind, the door, inside your house or office is about 2 meters high. So this was over 10 times that, so pretty stunning. And they even said it could have been up to 25 meters, so that's nuts. So this low out here won't be producing waves that big, but it will be producing gale force winds all the way around it. There's a secondary low, that's the one that's impacting New Zealand as we head in towards Friday. This is Friday's map, our high drifting away. There might still be a couple of early fog patches further to the east this time in the North Island. I would imagine most other places are fog free. There could be a bit of fog in Southland as well. There's a little bit of light wind activity down there, but it's windier everywhere else. And this storm system out near Australia, that's a big one for them. It's going to be producing big seas, gales, heavy rain, and even snow up in the mountains and hills. Now to Saturday, and look at that. Major system out towards Sydney, out towards Victoria and Tasmania. We've got the other side of it. Now that secondary low has fizzled away, but we've got the rain coming in on Saturday. It'll be heavier later in the day, we think, especially at night. This is all subtropical northerly winds coming through, and that will be pushing in over the North Island. It's more northeast for many parts of the south. And look at this, there's a high pressure system right next door to you. So a very fine line between this storm and then high pressure, which is bringing settled weather around New Zealand. But these areas in orange and gold, those are the ones to watch. That's the heavy stuff coming in on Saturday night. And then on Sunday, look at this line of subtropical rain coming directly in, the same size as the upper North Island, coming right over the top of you. So this is one to keep an eye on. There could be flooding if it lines up and sticks around for a day or so. So heavy rain coming through there. Everybody else, you've got kind of patchy stuff. It might be a bit drizzly or showery, or you might even have a couple of isolated heavier falls. The winds are a little bit complicated, but basically nor'westers for the North Island, easterlies for the south, and then you've got this big low out at sea, which is still a storm. It's still got gales going all the way around it. Once we get to Monday, it is actually starting to weaken. It's drifting towards us. That main rain band that came in over the weekend is moving away on Monday. So we're in a bit of a transition between that rain band that starts the low and then the actual center of the low itself. So there's a little bit of a break in the rain by the looks of it on Monday, at least for northern and western areas, and much of the South Island too. That high still parked right next door to you. And we finish on Tuesday. It's still a complicated map. This low still out at sea. It is still sitting around that 998 hectopascal range. High pressure is still just out to the east. So we could get another burst of wind and rain next week as this probably weakening system rolls in. And then behind it, we could be getting a bit of a colder, wet change towards the end of next week. Remember, we are heading towards winter. So a lot to cover over the next few days ahead. Before I go, a big shout out to Mr. B and Class 3 or Room 3 at St. Joseph's Primary in Te Aroha, and that's my hometown. So hello to all of you. I'm glad you're studying weather. I studied weather in Te Aroha, and look where it got me. All right, we'll catch you again on Friday with the latest.